Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Saturday. Beautiful, quiet afternoon here in Appalachia. Just very quiet. A few birds. One just flew by me. Just out here doing some work on the property. But I wanted to share a story of something that happened this week. I got my first taste of cancel culture. Last Saturday I made a video, which I did not publish because I said something in there and 20 minutes later Donald Trump had been shot. And Tuesday I made a video and posted it Tuesday night and talked about it, about the awakening of the spiritual warrior. And Thursday night I went back and I made the video, edited the video that I made Saturday, and I published it up on YouTube Thursday night. And 1 hour later I get an email from YouTube saying they are taking down the video because of something I said. And they said it was like at the 8-minute mark, 8:02 I think it was. I deleted the email pretty quick and I got lost. I went back and looked at the video, and at that moment I was talking about a certain segment of our society, a certain group of corporations and federal agencies that have basically merged together and basically taken control of much of the discourse around our choices for personal health. Okay. And I said that some things that were going on in our society were a hoax, but as Ice-T, the rapper, once said, freedom of speech, just watch what you say. So my video got canceled, but what that tells us is who is in control, and it gives us an insight into their agenda. Okay, and the agenda is to continue putting things into our body that are not good for our body. The human body, which is just an absolute miracle of creation, just an absolute miracle. And I've talked about this on numerous videos. I made a video about it, about just close your eyes for 15 seconds and just try to feel what's going on inside your body without you having to do a thing. You don't have to tell your digestive system to do anything. You don't have to tell your liver to do 500 things. You don't have to tell your lungs to take out oxygen and put it in the blood supply and take out the carbon dioxide and put it back into the lungs so you can exhale it. You don't have to do any of this stuff. If you cut your finger, 9 or 10 of your subsystems in your vascular and your immune and all these subsystems go into action to stop you from bleeding to death. You don't have to do a thing. It is just an absolute miracle. But there are entities controlling our world or trying to control our world, and people who they are controlling who want to change that. They want to make us less human. The reason is that they've screwed up their own life wave, and they want to come into our life wave. But the only way they can do that is to lower our vibration, to make us less human. So this week, a lot of stuff is going on, and I know the company that I'm consulting to got hit with the CrowdStrike thing. They're still trying to put the pieces back together. I was online all day yesterday watching this in action. Excuse me while it's hot out here. The CrowdStrike thing. The first thing I thought of was the 1990s Sandra Bullock movie, The Net. I highly recommend that anybody who hasn't seen that movie go watch that movie. because what happened with this CrowdStrike thing is exactly what happened in that movie, basically. And the evil ones in our planet, the evil ones will always tell us their plan. They will always tell us in some way, and they use movies a lot. Movies and television, The Simpsons a lot. But they'll always tell us what their plan is. Always. They have a belief that if they tell us what they're going to do, then they will not be hit with the repercussions of karma. It's very interesting philosophy. So a lot of things going on this week. The CrowdStrike thing, cancel culture, the Republican National Convention. I didn't watch it, but I do want to say a few words about DJT. I like the guy. I never met him, but what I've seen of him, although I do believe that, he went in on 2016. You have to excuse me, a lot of no-see-ums out here because it's so humid. They love this humidity. He went in 2016, I'm going to drain the swamp, I'm going to do something with Hillary, da-da-da-da-da, and none of that happened. And then he did Operation Warp Speed, which I think is a travesty. But I will say that what the Donald, that's what they used to call him back in the 80s. I used to go to real estate courses, and they would call him the Donald, because they held him up as just the epitome of the real estate guru. He is, in many ways, a father figure or a father archetype. So as I have stated on other videos, and many other people that I follow will say this, that most of the men walking around in our society are really boys in men's bodies, because we have no rite of passage. We have from boyhood to manhood. There's what does it mean to be a man? We're not taught this anymore. The indigenous cultures and the tribal cultures, they taught their boys how to be men from the ages of basically 8 to 13 or so. We don't do that anymore. How to control our emotions, how to control our creative and sexual energies, etc. So there's a lot of people in our society, the majority, actually a vast majority, who are looking for, subconsciously, because most of the fathers are absentee fathers. Since most of the fathers are absentee fathers, an absentee father is just going off to work every day. Right, and so 10 or 12 hours a day, the father's out of the house at work, he's not with the boy, right? So the boy grows up with women. Basically all the teachers in elementary school, they're all women, etc. I've talked about this before. So subconsciously, our culture is looking for a father figure. Now, Sigmund Freud said that our view of authority comes from our personal view of authority subconsciously comes from our relationship with our father in the household, because the father was considered at that time, of course this is late 18, early 1900s, the father is considered the authority figure in the household. And some people could argue that, but we'll leave it at that for right now. Okay? So what we have here is multiple generations since the industrial age, well over, 140, 50 years at least, of fathers leaving the home and boys growing up needing the approval of women subconsciously. So now we're at a point where there's a cycle that's happening, and that cycle can be easily summed up in a few words. It's strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And hard times create strong men. And that's the cycle that we're in. And right now we're in the cycle of weak men create hard times. Okay? When you look at the men who are leading us, they're weak. They're bought off, they're narcissistic, one of the most overused words, but they're weak. They have no honor, they have no integrity, and most of them have no courage. So Donald comes along and says all the right things, but he didn't deliver in 2016 to 2020. So now he's coming along saying all the right things again. And most people, a lot of people, are giving him the benefit of the doubt because because we all have this hope. Humans love to have hope. We have an inner need for hope for better things, better times, a better way of life for ourselves and our children and our grandchildren. It is instinctive to us to hope. And I watched one of the speeches. It was on Twitter. It was his granddaughter, and she gave a beautiful speech about what he's like as a grandpa. I was in tears. You know, she's just this beautiful young girl, Don Jr.'s daughter, just beautiful, very articulate. That whole family is quite intelligent. But here's the problem. Here's where we have to be wary of what these people, and Reagan was the same way. Who does he surround himself with? Well, first of all, you always look for the vice presidential choice. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., same way, with Nicole Shanahan. She's deep state. Google's CIA. So now Donald's got J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance leads to Peter Thiel, who founded PayPal, but he's also like the vice chairman of the Bilderberger Group. Okay, so you go down that whole rabbit hole of these secret societies and these billionaires who want to control the world. Then Donald is talking about, or somebody's talking about, putting Jamie Dimon as the head of the Treasury. From Jamie Dimon, from, of course, JP Morgan, Chase Manhattan Bank, or whatever they call themselves these days. So you've got the billionaire class all surrounding Donald, right? Where does that leave us? Where does that leave the little people? The peasants, the peons, the plebs, the people that turn the gears and keep this world moving. Where does that leave us? This is where we have to be very wary about putting all of our trust into one person. One of the things I really like people to do is focus on the Congress of the United States. 535 people, most of them bought and paid for. But technically they're the ones that write the laws. There's just not enough attention paid to that. And it's all by design. This whole focus on the authority figure. We have to be very careful here. Okay. Are we setting up a Trojan horse? People like David Icke think we are. And that's what we have to be very careful of. Yeah. Because we have to make a choice of what path we want to go down. And they're very powerful people right now. Very powerful people who want to take us down a path of transhumanism, chips in our brains controlled by low Earth orbiting satellites to where you cannot think for yourself. And chances are our thoughts are being interrupted already with using some advanced technology. It's a whole nother rabbit hole. So I'll come back to the premise that I started with last Saturday. And that is, we are the Savior. It is only us, as a collective, that is going to steer our course on the right path. And that path is one of a spiritual being. We are spiritual beings first, not physical beings. We are mostly spiritual beings. This is just a brief experience, this physicality. And we do it for many reasons. One of them is to enhance and grow our soul so that our soul can have these experiences and learn. And we could use words like enlightenment. It's a big word. But we are here for many reasons. One of them is just to enjoy it. Just to wake up every day and enjoy it. It's not a whole lot we can control. We're bombarded with all this media every day, none of which we can control. The only thing we can control is what's in here and how much love we send out. And that's all we can do. It's going to be a very interesting few months. Send out a lot of love to your neighbors, your friends, your family, colleagues, cashiers at the store, people that you run into. Just smile. It's the best thing we can do. Smile, laugh, sing and dance. The rest of it we can't control. But if enough of us raise our vibration, we will have a very positive impact on our collective consciousness, and we will become the savior that we're meant to be. Okay? So until next time, aho.